Hey everybody, this is Movie Versus Prequel to episode 40. The old
This is 40.
This is the old Paul Rudd of podcasts. My name is Tyler Lamb. I'm one of the hosts, and my voice sounds like shit. So get used to that for the rest of the episode.
Because you are what you eat.
Exactly, and I've just been doing piles and piles of shit straight into the mouth, like a shovel. Just dump it in, like through a funnel.
But you mush it through those Play-Doh machines first, turn it into like spaghetti
well,
and stuff.
I had to take one of those things that like gold people like looking for
like
gold.
a sifter or
yeah,
whatever.
sifter. Yeah, I had to do that first and just get all the juices and everything out, and then I can add the chunks later to like one conglomerate piece.
It's called a casserole.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And paella, if you will.
Yeah.
And the coiner of that term is Steve Janik. Steve, how's it going? I'm not going to change out how the order of introductions.
Okay.
Even though that. So Steve, how's it going? Steve?
It's all right. I'm currently on a 3-week break from school, so.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
When did that start?
It started on Friday.
Oh, I didn't know that. That is pretty dope.
Yeah, it was very handy.
Man, so let's just ballpark it. Masturbation count is. I mean,
We're not talking about that on
because it's
This episode.
because it's non-quantifiable.
incalculable.
Yeah, it's non-quantifiable. So that's what
God, I hate you so much.
you've
You
never-
do not understand.
You've never had this much free time before in the past couple of years. So you're gonna take every advantage that you can.
That's really every advantage you can think of.
Well, he's not just going to sit on his hands. Or maybe he will.
Well, I mean, one hand he's gonna technically be sitting on if you count the thumb being up as part of.
No, stop.
And then I've got.
How?
Man, what a movie.
And
I said I was on a break.
yeah,
and then
from
that's what this
school.
became.
And then we got Charlie Pixley with us as well.
Hey.
What is up, Chuck?
Steve, how does it feel to know that by the time this comes out, that break will already be about a third the way over?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I do not want to talk about it at all.
That's fine then.
Because it's a terrible feeling.
So I believe. Oh man! Again, apologies for the old the voice. I went to a concert this weekend and also went to a. Steve and I were at that. We mentioned it last episode. We went to a bar beer Olympics thingy. So there's a lot of shouting there, and then there was a lot of shouting at the concert, obviously.
Because Tyler doesn't sing, he only screams lyrics aggressively at the lead singer.
You guys don't. Well, it was Cannibal Corpse, so
So it's interchangeable.
And so I believe this episode we got a text. We have a group chat. Ooh, spoiler alert, behind the curtain group chat of the podcast. Man, no listeners are turning off. They're like, God damn it, these people
They're like-
talk to each other outside of the
Yeah,
cast.
they're
delete.
like, I just assumed that they knew nothing of each other outside of that room.
Unsubscribe. But Charlie, you are assigning movies this week, and
Yeah, I am.
You texted us and you said, "Hey guys, do you mind?"
Look at this sweet dab gif.
Well, and then that was like right after you sent that dick pic. That one. We've gotten many.
Yeah.
Mostly our communications is just communicating via dick pic, and we like form our penises into our emotions or what we want to say.
That's why,
at the
dude,
time.
can't wait for the iPhone 10 to come out so I can make it like my face. Do all the motions and do the voice with it. So it'll look like those old movies where it's like Thumb Star Wars or whatever, doing all the characters.
No, yeah.
Wow.
I've been dreaming of this for years.
That's future is now.
That reference went way further than I thought it was going to go.
It always does. And too far. Where to the point where it gets unrelatable.
To anyone.
The old what is that? The old Daniel Tosh like stand-up method where he's like,
Oh,
I like to
yeah.
start jokes
You get
as
super
general
specific.
and super specific at the end.
where literally only himself thinks it's funny. So
Why does that feel familiar?
so
You guys get there way too quick.
we've got a routine that we've worked out over the years. No, literally, we've both been in the bathroom together, staring in the mirror, rehearsing our routines.
All right, so I've got a different kind of method
moving on.
for this episode. So I've two different.
Well, first off, this is an early I want to say this is an early. Well, no,
I wouldn't say it's
when
early
this-
because like we will be defending the movies
yeah,
in
that's,
October.
That's true.
Correct.
So this, yeah, so
That's
this
why I
is the
want to get
first.
started, so we don't get screwed out of a week at the end.
No,
That's true. That's true. I didn't think about.
that's a
I
good
didn't
plan.
realize that. I thought that this
I'm
the
just fucking
full one
good.
was still going to come out in September. But this is. Do we have a name for our October movies?
Creepy-tober.
I was going to say Hortober.
Oh, yep.
That can't be them.
Hortober.
All right.
Movie versus Hortober, and it's gonna get a good old kickoff. Ooh, football reference.
Time.
I guess it was
Steve, add that to those notches that you have
in my belt.
No, underneath the table that you've been carving. Every time I make a sweet reference.
Oh, those
Wait,
notches are on my headboard.
Wait. Would it be? Is it football or football? They both have a kickoff.
No, it's just
Gross.
it's labeled Tyler's sweet references. This is my table, so I've seen the label and the number. I mean, you're working around the corner at this
Yes,
point.
here it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and sand it down for accuracy.
So Charlie, you are doing horror movies,
Yeah.
and
so
you had an idea. So let's
I've
hear it
two
without me
groups of
talking
movies.
over you.
Sure, I have
about-
two groups of movies, but I want to approach this differently than we normally do it. I want you guys to really take notes during this one. So I know that sounds like an advantage towards Steve initially, but no, hear me out.
Oh, you mean during the movies?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant right now, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
I was
like,
neither
dude,
of
I don't
us.
have a
Yeah,
pen.
Notes.
I was looking around for a
So
pen and paper.
I don't really want to care about either of these plots.
Okay.
I want you to just tell me the funniest parts, like the coolest kills, and I want it to really just be like, that's your argument. I don't give a shit about the story. And you'll see when I explain like what it is, that I'll just have to get into it when I show it. And it works for both of them in that, like, I know both these stories. And
You haven't seen the movies, though.
the first two, I've seen both of them, but it was only once in theaters a long time ago, and I don't really remember shit about
What's
them.
a long time ago?
10 years. Just about.
So
But
10
I've only
year- 10
both seen
years
them
ago,
once. Just about.
You were still a.
But you've seen
You're
both of
still
them.
a early teen.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
But-
I can get that because it's
but-
harder to remember those
Yeah.
areas of.
But
And because
also
they just weren't great.
I mean, you've
but also
and
you've
Charlie, you've
seen-
done your best to forget those years.
Yes.
no, Charlie, but you've seen both of them.
Yes.
Oh, okay, then I think that's fair.
No, he said two of them he's seen. I thought you.
Well, the one set, I have seen bits and pieces of both of the one set, but then the other set, I have seen both of them, and that's my primary
Okay.
set.
Then yeah.
no,
if-
I think it's as long as it's equal. I think it's completely
and
fair.
I'll let you
I
know
agree.
why I think it would be interesting to do it. Like, I don't give a shit about the story. You can talk about it still and go for it, but I'm only going to be judging based off like which movie has make the kills sound cooler, make the jokes sound cooler, or like
then
any
also-
accidental humor or whatever.
and then also sexiest outfit
Yeah, sure.
of
By
of-
both the killer or the killies.
or the co-host.
Steve, you have Bikini Party 7.
So it explains why you're
Tyler,
wearing
you
that
have
bikini.
Saw.
So I just come in dressed like Carrie Ewells.
Sure. Or
or what's his Tobin? Is that his first name?
Oh,
No,
that weird dude
I think it's
from
Jobin.
What'd you say?
I said I think it's Jobin.
Is it?
No,
Is that a joke?
it is.
Jo-
It's from I Love You Man.
JoJo?
I don't know.
That's what Paul Rudd called. He's like Jobin, and
Oh, I haven't seen
Peter-
that movie since I saw it in theaters.
yeah.
I liked it, but
See,
I
you
just
didn't
haven't-
remember it. Perfect.
Yeah, that's a good argument for your. Yeah, I mean, I remember. Shit, I guess I remember most of the jokes that
Okay.
were like in trailers.
And
So
I
that's-
haven't assigned one to either of you yet. I was just
Okay.
going to flip for it for fairness' sake.
Yeah, fair
That's
enough.
fine.
Because I have
even
special
have a-
allegiances to both of these movies.
I'm intrigued what they are because I know you. Well, I mean, since you having seen them, I think it's
And
like, reasonable.
it works too because I was just going to flip this coaster.
Oh, okay. I was gonna pull out a die and just say odds were me and evens were Steve. But okay,
We can do that too.
No,
You
I
are-
like the coaster.
you're-
Okay.
It takes more time for me to get.
I
the
like
die
it when
out.
it's shittier sounding
Well, and
too.
also that those aren't like regular die; those are Bloodborne die, so they might not have like even and odd numbers in
just,
equal.
just flip this figure of Dexter Jester.
That's going to be so unfair for
Yeah,
whoever.
no, it's,
has
it's
the-
weighted. Yeah. Well, what do you
Oh.
know? Heads up.
Okay.
7-Up?
I looked up, I know this is usually against what we do, but I looked them up on Rotten Tomatoes, see if they were truly comparable, and they have the exact same score.
Well, that's not bad. No, if you're doing out, I mean, if
oh,
you're
yeah,
assigning
I
movies,
guess if
you
I'm
have
assigning,
to know.
yeah,
You have to know.
Unless it's one where it's like, clearly, I don't even have to check.
That's interesting.
But these two have the exact same score. Okay?
Well, no, but you have 4 that you pick total.
Yes.
But you have 2 sets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the primary set that I thought would be interesting, and you'll see why I say ignore the narrative of the story. Just convince me which one would have cooler kills, cooler all that stuff, cooler horror elements, the best scares, everything. Mm-hmm. So one of them is the Halloween remake, and one of them is the Friday the 13th remake. Both of them are hella low on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I've seen only both of them once.
I've seen one of them in theaters, and I haven't seen the other.
And that makes sense because, like, it's really easy to forget, like, get lost in, like, what it is because you think about it and you just, like, remember the good one.
And I cherish the beginnings of both of those ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now Halloween is my favorite over Friday the 13th, but I do love Friday the 13th, and this isn't that, though.
Yeah,
so that doesn't really weigh my judgment because
But, I mean...
that's its own thing. It's like, that's great.
I understand because, I mean, you and I both differ on that aspect where Friday the 13th is mine.
Yeah.
And Halloween is not. But I would still... Yeah, it's still a remake at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the Halloween remake is so much different than the original Halloween.
Especially the second one.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, I've never seen either of them. I know enough information to be like, oh, okay, did John Carpenter know these were being made? It's definitely a, hey, Rob Zombie, you want to make a movie? And then he was like, well, I want the killer to be named Mike Myers.
Well, that kind of narrows the plot synopses down.
No.
Oh, never mind.
He's just like, well, how about I make a movie with the killer being Mike Myers?
Have you seen either of them, Steve?
I've not.
All right, well, then let's just do you get Halloween, Tyler, and then
okay, yeah,
and then you get Friday the 13th.
I'm actually, honestly, yeah, okay, because
you can both just watch both of them together.
I personally have it's been one of those things where I know that the Halloween remakes have gotten a lot of shit, but it's one of those things where it's like, as somebody who likes horror movies, I've been like, it's on my list of movies that I want to get to be like, I feel like I should watch these just because, like, I like the original so much.
When I was younger, I was younger, I remember watching the first one and thinking, both of them, like there hasn't been a sequel to the remake of Friday the 13th, but I remember thinking like, okay, these weren't bad. They weren't like train wrecks, but whatever. But I do remember the second Halloween was like, holy shit,
jarring. No, I know,
weird as fuck.
I know stuff that happens in because there was there used to be a thing. The guy who does Angry Video Game Nerd.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he also does Cinemassacre.
Yeah, well, his website is called Cinemassacre, and he used to do a thing every October called oh shit, it was, oh my god, Monster Madness. That's what it was.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 13 Days of Halloween, but I think that's
he would do it
tomato.
He would do every day of the month of October, he would review a different movie, and it was different themes, and one year he did franchises. And I think he grouped the remakes of Halloween, the remakes into one movie because he did all the Halloween movies, and then he was just like, yeah, by the way, these are the remakes. This is what happens. Like, it's just weird. It's kind of fucked. Like, Rob Zombie's a good director, but it's a weird take, and it doesn't really make sense as far as these characters. So, like, I know the plot line of those two movies, but I've never seen it, and I feel like it's one of those things where, like, you know how there's always there's a list. Charlie, you would probably know this more than Steve, because Steve, you're not huge into horror movies.
I'm not. That's why I've been so quiet, because I don't have anything.
And I think Charlie, you and I are both more into slashers than we are into just the blanket of horror genre. Like we prefer.
I mean, those are definitely, like, if I list my favorites, those are the ones. Like, they end up being those primarily, but I would still call myself a general horror fan, though.
Yeah,
too.
I know. It
is Hortober.
It is Hortober, and I do have likes.
It's
and dislikes
already a thing,
in the
Steve.
genre.
Get with the program.
I have likes and dislikes in the genre, but you know how you have those movies where you're like, okay, I feel like I should watch this, regardless of whether or not people say it's the best or not good. I feel like it's on the list, and I feel like Rob Zombie's remakes are on the list as much as, and this might be controversial, as much as like Black Christmas is on the list.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay,
Wait, the remake or the old one?
I would say the original Black Christmas.
Okay.
Where it's
Sorry,
like,
the fact that I know that there's a remake of Black Christmas is really all.
well,
I
it's
have
like,
to add to
okay,
this.
yeah, watch this, you see where like pretty much everything came from.
Yeah.
But then right after that is Halloween. And so I feel like the remakes of Halloween kind of get jumbled into that because it's like, well, the remakes of Halloween are going off of not only because Halloween almost kind of perfected what Black Christmas was doing. It's like, oh, we're taking these ideas and we're just fucking doing it, and we're tweaking, and then and so I feel like you think, oh, the Halloween remakes are Rob Zombie, who is a acclaimed horror director in his own right, doing an acclaimed horror series. So it's like, yeah, maybe shit, but check it out, see what you think, kind of thing.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like formulate your own opinion. Like, you shouldn't be just listening to people about it. Like, you should be like,
It's still just like an experience.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's where I'm more
gotcha.
going to, is just the experience of being like, and I think that's what a lot of these horror movies are.
Yes.
Because I mean, even I love Friday the 13th, but some of those movies are shit.
Oh, yeah.
They're so the
there are
3D
so
one
many.
is
The
so
one with the
bad.
telepathic kid.
I mean, are we talking Halloween or Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th in this instance, but there's
Yeah.
some weird shit in both of them.
Yeah, I guess he's not.
Once they get past
he's
like
not-
multiple,
yeah, he's not telepathic in Halloween. I guess he's just like,
fucked.
yeah,
in the
he's
head.
that's the kid that ends up being Paul Rudd, right? Or is Paul Rudd the uncle?
It's something like
Paul
that.
Rudd's in like Halloween 6 or 5 or
Really?
Yeah.
something. Yeah. It's
That
like,
one has a subtitle too, I think, actually, but it's not used much.
hey,
'Cause
aside
that's one where then it turns into about the thorn, and it's all about like this cult shit. And
before
it's like,
before we go into watching these trailers, because okay, so Steve's watching Friday the 13th and I'm doing Halloween Rob
Yeah.
Zombie style.
yeah,
Before we go into these trailers, what do you guys think? Friday the 13th with Jamie Lee Curtis and Danny McBride writing the script and David Lee
that's
Gordon
what that was going to be
directing.
the thing I like. So we can talk about
Oh.
it then if you want.
All right, yeah, we will. All right.
Bastard, and it's Halloween. You said Friday the 13th.
Oh,
When it's
I
actually
did.
Child's Play.
Yeah, it's actually Dinosaurs, the TV show.
Shit.
Oh, thank God. It's been too long. Dinosaurs, the TV show.
All right, do you guys want to hear the other option though, real quick?
Yeah, sorry.
Just
I
in
just
case.
hit the mic
Just
going
in
back.
case you want to
Completely
switch.
forgot about that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
One
go
of you
for it.
could get Leprechaun in the hood, and the other one could have Leprechaun 2 back in the hood.
I have seen both of those.
I've only seen the first.
You're probably
and
not
the-
even sure which one you've seen.
That's a good point. Isn't that Warwick Davis?
Yes.
Okay. That man.
Yeah.
He's like who was the guy from the Bagman that you said that was like
I
like
don't know
the
his name.
Bobby De Niro.
no, yeah. No, the little person, because he's like the most famous like little person actor,
Oh,
whereas like
yeah,
Warwick
no.
Davis is like the most like prosthetic.
I would say
That-
Warwick Davis is the most
Warwick
famous.
Davis is probably the most famous, and then it'd be Vern Troyer.
Yeah, I would
Oh
say.
no, because you were like he was
Warwick
that
Davis.
because you said that he was like that guy that was like in everything now, but like Warwick Davis is now more like he does a lot more of like the prosthetic work.
Yeah, I would say based off name, you go Warwick Davis, Vern Troyer, Wee Man.
No, Peter Dinklage now.
Oh shit! Yeah,
That's
I
true.
don't
No.
watch. I
But
don't
he's
watch
like
Game
a
of Thrones.
serious
so it's-
actor,
Yeah, no,
though.
I agree. I just don't watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. Shit,
You didn't
so
like
Peter
him as
Dinklage is
that guy
probably-
in X-Men?
I thought he did a
I
great
still
job in
think
X-Men.
Warwick Davis. Peter Dinklage might be the top, but Warwick Davis, in my mind, like he's more prolific.
He's legendary
That's-
status.
yeah,
I mean-
he's been in a lot
Yeah.
more like legendary.
I mean, he was in Willow. He was in
Star
Kenny
Wars.
Baker, though.
Wars.
Kenny Baker.
Oh yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Let's watch these trailers. What a point to get off on.
Oh, yeah. It'd be hilarious. And if it tricked people again.
yeah, exactly. It was just Rob Zombie's
Oh, yeah.
Halloween season of the witch.
Yeah, Rob Zombie does
Robin Biggs season of the witch.
it. If
I thought you were
Zombie
gonna say
did
Robin
it, though,
Thicke.
Robin Biggs.
all the masks are just like disturbed masks.
Who did Linus Limus, the doctor in the original one? What's his
Loomis.
Loomis. What's the actor's name?
Oh shit, Donald Pleasance.
Yeah. Okay. Huge shoes to fill.
Yeah, he was a large man.
Yeah. No, I mean, Donald Pleasance is not. I mean.
He's like one of the best parts of those movies.
That's what I'm saying. Like, rest in peace, Donald Pleasance, because that character was so perfect. And so, even though you got Malcolm McDowell, which is apparently the second movie that he was in Home Alone 5. He was also in Clockwork Orange, and now he's in the Halloween remake.
The only 3 movies you ever need to watch.
So yeah, it's interesting seeing that. Shit! I'm hitting
both
mics.
of them are about almost 10 years old now, and they both look and feel really old.
Yeah. Especially the trailers.
Yeah,
the trailers felt really old, and they felt really generic, and they felt. It was weird seeing these remakes of horror classics in generic horror trailer style, where it's like, oh, there's Jason he just appeared behind. Like the way it's done, it's like, okay, yep. Expected all of this.
And it didn't even make sense because she's checking behind the shower curtain, which everybody's done at some point in their life. But then he's
Jason
behind her.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if that was a shower. I think they were in some sort of thing, and it was like a hanging sheet.
Yeah, I think it was a sheet, and he just moved it out of his way.
You'll have to find out, Steve.
And the Halloween one was like, I don't know. I think that one is a little more weird because. Already the character of Michael Myers has more of a backstory than Jason, I would say. Like, I think that there's still, like, even in the originals, there's still a little bit more behind. Because, you know, there's at least that opening in the original Halloween where you see, and then it's like Rob Zombie just went to town on that origin story. And it's like, okay, you got to give credit to remaking something and doing it
and trying to tread new ground
originally,
instead
of just being like, oh hey, I'm just gonna do shots, like pretty much do the same movie but my way. Like, no, he wrote it
with LMFAO.
I don't get that reference, but
shots.
Yeah, I mean, every day they were hustling, so. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting matchup.
The Halloween trailer with that voiceover in the trailer, it sounds like they
the
easily
movie phone voice
played like some like bump music, and it would have been like, "Oh, this child is pure evil," you know, and it would have been like a kid's comedy or something.
Yeah, and
see what he becomes.
And it was a weird kind of juxtaposition of trailers because the Friday the 13th one felt like a trope almost. Like it
felt like the trailer for Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, it felt like
which I love that movie.
Well, the trailer was shit because it showed almost every death.
Yeah.
But no, I get what you're saying because it definitely just felt like, oh hey, we got to hit these beats. But then the Halloween trailer felt just like disjointed and like weird and like
I don't know much about those movies in general, but like that trailer, I was like, I don't know what's. Well, I'm not following any of this.
It was a weird like a thing because again, both horror classics.
Yes,
and then you've got Friday the 13th trailer has just become the remake is just a regular Piranha, 3 Double D trailer. What? No, I say that movie's a satire and parody of horror movies, but. Again, like that kind of, thing. And then the Halloween trailer is like, House of a Thousand Corpses, but Michael Myers and you.
So wait,
man,
is the kid supposed to be Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I think the kid in the trailer. Because then they did like, oh god, I hope it's not in the movie. But they did a flash where like he was in the cop car and the
made
fucking
him look
William
like he had
Shatner.
a big ass head though.
Yeah, the William Shatner mask was like on his face as he was like looking out of the window, and it's like, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah, it's
spoilers, dude.
Fuck.
The one thing I remember a lot from I don't remember much from either, except for the second one of Halloween, because like we've said already a couple times, it's fucked up.
Bonkers.
But the first
Unicorns.
one, I remember that he just makes Michael Myers like so aggressive in the movie, and that you saw kind of it there. Like normal Michael Myers isn't really. He's kind of just like.
Yeah, he's kind of like a lumbering
just like,
beast.
Yeah, walking. You could outrun him and stuff, but I remember that's like the one thing I remember taking away is, I mean, he just walks up the doors and just like bear hugs through them like Batman, and just like walks through walls.
I was gonna say at the end of the day, Charlie, what's the best fucking kill in the first Halloween movie that Michael Myers does?
Is the one where he sticks a guy with a shotgun?
Yep. He doesn't shoot him with the shotgun. He takes the shotgun and stabs a man through a wall with a shotgun. Like, elevated, right? Like, the guy is not, like, standing on...
Myers has infinite strength unless it comes to locked doors. That he has to stab through them.
It is definitely one of the greatest moments. Just stabbing him, a double-barreled shotgun.
The most amazing Michael Myers scene, though, is when, I think it's H2O.
Yeah, no, when he...
No, okay, I've seen H2O, and that scene, like, when I was watching that movie, I was like, what?
It's like he's like a professional gymnast, and he's holding himself like straight as a
But
board.
with one,
with his hold on, with his arm holding him up. Like if you were doing it, you would have to be holding it up by your crotch, like the bar straight up. Your arm is locked down, and he proceeds to just like vertical plank and lift his arm back up and completely just arm fully extend, fucking physically impossible. Just lower himself down.
It is
to
the
be
most
stealthy.
yes.
To sneak.
No. I mean, I remember vividly watching that movie for the first time.
Funny.
I remember watching that movie for the first time, and that scene, because
It's the most memorable scene.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is like, "Oh man, am I good?" And you see in the foreground,
yeah, you just see like the blurred like object that is him just slowly lower itself into view.
And I mean, by myself in my house going, "Oh shit."
Well, because he lowers himself and then immediately is going for like one of the patented Michael Myers take your goddamn head off swings.
He's come back from the dead, but that's still the most unbelievable shit he's ever done.
Has he ever actually come back from the dead? Was he?
Well, I mean, like getting shot with a gun like a million times.
Okay.
By
Wait,
all those
is there a movie after H2O?
Yeah, Resurrection. But it's done that he changed the mask with one of the ambulance drivers. So the ambulance driver. Spoiler for H2O. The ambulance driver is the one that Jamie Lee Curtis chopped the fucking head off of.
He's very clever.
Which like, I mean, such a great H2O. Yeah. I think is a great return to form. And it's a good movie. The ending is fucking superb. Her chop, because he's like pleading to her, and she's like, "Fuck you!" Chops his head off. Beginning of Resurrection. Busta Rhymes comes out. No, that's later in the movie.
No, does he rap the intro?
No,
he probably does do some rapping.
It replays the intro, but it's like shows that he puts the mask on. Like he wakes up and then puts the mask on. I don't remember the order.
They were driving. You don't want to spoil it, you're saying, or no?
No, I don't remember the order.
Well, I
don't
remember
if it was.
She cuts off his goddamn head.
I don't remember if it was before they got into the ambulance or like.
No, it's afterwards. He wakes up in the ambulance, like kills the drivers and stuff, and then puts the Michael, or he doesn't kill the one. He puts a Michael Myers mask on him, like pins him up against the tree or whatever,
and then like puts him in the body bag, maybe.
No, that's.
I thought
Johnny does that.
I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was.
Oh man,
thank you.
I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was driving the ambulance with Michael Myers in the body bag.
Oh, that could have been. It was something like.
I don't. Again, I mean, we're all talking about this movie, and we have not seen it recently.
It was the best. Okay, so it's a shitty way because that H2O was awesome. But I do give credit to the writers. Like, that's the best way you could have written your way out of that situation.
For sure. Because then they just put Jamie Lee Curtis into a fucking insane asylum. Because it's like, no, I killed. It's like, okay, yeah, you're crazy because you did not. You killed just a person.
An EMT, too. Like a real good guy.
Chopped his head off.
As he was reaching for help.
I'm sorry. lobbed his head off.
Yeah.
And because it was one swipe.
Which also impressive, by the way.
Yeah. But that's what makes this this remake or sequel, whatever it's gonna be, awesome, because I think they're just gonna not give a shit about
that shit
out.
out.
They're just gonna be like, oh yeah, Resurrection didn't happen.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if she.
And I wonder how they're gonna bring her. Bring her back.
Well, I was thinking, I don't know. It'd be funny if the beginning of the new one was her dropping from the ledge in Resurrection and then waking up from a dream.
Wait. So let me get this straight.
The ambulance driver actually then
hits her with an adrenaline shot.
Michael Myers.
No. So let me get this straight. Mm-hmm. The end of H2O, you think she kills Michael Myers, and then in Resurrection,
I think it just goes straight. It goes straight to credits after she chops off his head.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
It's like
so. Then okay, good.
This is it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Then that
John Carpenter directed.
Money. I don't know actually.
Well, I feel like he had to be a part of it
Probably.
for Jamie Lee to come back.
Yeah,
we're good friends. I call her JL.
That makes me feel a little bit better because I saw H2O in theaters and I haven't seen it since, but I didn't remember the whole EMT. I remember the ambulance crushing him and then her lopping his head off, but I didn't remember the switcheroo
because that's
not. But that okay.
Yeah.
She lops his head off after like an accident, and there's like a log or a tree stump that.
Yeah, he's pinned against a tree with an ambulance.
We've been speculating about the end/beginning of
something
H2O
something that is easily able to be figured out.
So anyway, I'm seeing the Halloween remake by Rob Zombie, and Steve, you're seeing the remake of Friday the 13th
by Fred Durst.
Oh man, then I lose. If Fred Durst wrote and directed this remake,
got confused watching Gothica.
Why does Jason have a ball cap on, a red ball cap?
I mean, he's doing it all for the nookie.
Yeah. Well, who isn't? But you have
kill someone by shoving a cookie up their ass.
You have Killer Frost in your movie,
and Sam Winchester.
Yes.
And then also
and the weird combination of Dax Shepard and Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, we couldn't remember his name, but he had.
No, I've seen him like occasionally in TV shows.
Yeah, he's been in
because I watch a lot of. He was in Central Intelligence. He was the jerk in Kevin Hart's Work.
Oh,
gotcha.
Okay.
Central Intelligence was fine. It was a pretty good movie.
It's Ryan Hansen, that's his name, and he's also in Veronica Mars, and Central Intelligence. Charlie, I don't know if you knew he was in that movie. And then G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Wait, he was in G.I. Joe Retaliation?
Well, I mean, his four known for movies are. Well, the show Veronica Mars, Central Intelligence, Friday the 13th, and G.I. Joe Retaliation. And in G.I. Joe Retaliation, he was the role of Grunt.
That's what the G in GI stands for.
Grunt. Individual.
I thought it was what was it? Giraffe Intelligence, is what it was, if I recall correctly.
Jesus, that's a nice reference to a different podcast, asshole. He was also in Hit and Run, which is confusing because Dax Shepard is in that movie.
Stunt double, though.
Yeah, probably. He's one of those guys.
I ain't too proud.
No, he's. I don't like. When I see him in shows, I'm like, oh, it's that guy.
Oh, he was in this show called Friends with Benefits. That was actually like
I watched that show.
Yeah, which it was
fine.
It was like 13 episodes. It's actually like kind of good, but also it was like out of order. But it was one season, and like how
I watched it on Netflix. I think
same. And I was like, man, when it actually follows the plot line of the episode, like this is actually not that bad,
right?
And yeah, so it's he's not a bad guy. I mean, I know him personally. We hang out.
Yeah. I think he's
John
just
Carpenter.
I think he's just fighting for like he needs his like when
his right to party. That's what he's fighting for.
No, we talked about this when I was on the Three Wise cast. Like he's one of those actors that like he's kind of in the running for the same kind of roles as someone who's currently more famous. And so they're like, when they want that role, they go for that person in the same way that Gal Gadot was before she got Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And now she's starting to get more things thrown at her because she has that recognition.
Yeah.
He just needs his like one big good role.
The thing that sucks is I think Dax Shepard is more famous for being Kristen Bell's husband than he is for being Dax Shepard.
At this point, I would agree.
Could be.
Like I mean, I think that
Chips was pretty big.
I don't know, dude. Punk'd was off the charts.
I still don't hate Employee of the Month. I will.
Oh, is that the Dane Cook one?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I don't know if I've watched it from beginning to end. Anyway, I don't think that
I've seen it. I just can't remember a lot of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some laughs.
So I guess now we're just going to talk about the stuff we actually like, which is a segment of this podcast where, because we act like we like things a lot on this podcast that aren't
things
good.
that we don't like.
Yeah, so we all think that we should have a segment where we just kind of talk about things that we actually do like.
Things we can endorse to our
yeah, exactly, like legitimately endorse.
Like rather than watch these movies we just talked about for 5 hours, here are some things that you should look at.
Do you want me to go ahead and knock mine out then?
Oh well, shit. This is my mind is being shook.
Well, I know you guys don't know what it is yet.
Is it fall?
No, it's the Halloween whatever. I don't even want to call it a sequel or anything yet, but
yeah,
the new Halloween project.
Yeah, since it's from some of the Eastbound and Down guys, and I love that show.
Yeah,
and which it's very interesting to see what they do with it because I can't see them making it full on comedy. I could see them putting some touches of it in there, but just that the way the original had some too, and just like any slasher has some elements of comedy to them.
Yeah, I talked to,
and then Laurie Strode is a great character, and I like Jamie Lee Curtis. So
yeah, I said something to it kind of reflects on what you were saying in that a guy I know who also he's like the only other guy I know that likes horror movies other than you, Charlie. Really like as in knows likes the old ones. He loves Friday the 13th, Halloween, all this stuff. And I said to him, I was like, hey, like David Gordon Green is directing and Danny McBride is writing. Like Jamie Lee Curtis is back. What do you think? Because again, what we were saying just now, I think that there's this like overlapping of comedy and horror, where it's like somebody like Danny McBride, I think that, and David Gordon Green, because of the work on Vice Principals and on Eastbound and Down, I think that. Especially, I mean, I'm sure that's not even the case because I was going to say, especially if Danny McBride's not in it, but I've seen the motherfucker have acting chops. I've seen him in Alien Covenant. I've seen him do, like, he can act. So that's not, even related.
He's Mike Myers in it, though.
I mean, not only that, you've also seen him.
No, he's playing Mike Myers.
Oh, shit!
And he's like groovy baby.
No, but you've seen Danny McBride as
I'm the love guru.
No one's the love guru.
Shit,
Mariska Hargitay.
I didn't know he was here.
No, but.
But
you've seen Danny McBride
in
interviews and stuff, and like it's very clear that like his character in movies is definitely not. Like,
he's always like super embarrassed. Like when he's in, he's like, I guess everybody thinks I'm Kenny Powers. Like I don't know what.
Because Kenny Powers, like even Gamby in Vice Principals.
No, I think they're different.
I mean, they're different, but they're assholes in different ways. I'm not trying to say they're the same character, but I think they're assholes, but they direct it differently.
I get what you're saying. They're both selfish to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because Gamby is a douchebag to a lot of people. Like he does care and he has some things, but like even when he's trying to be nice to people, he's like, "Get the fuck out of here! You know you're better than that."
I think Gamby's a better person than Kenny Powers.
I mean, almost everybody else in the world is.
I was gonna say I don't think that's even possible to be up for debate.
And then I think Danny McBride's character in The World's End may be the worst person ever. but also one of his funniest characters. Just like the flipping off going into the abyss, and then like waking up the morning of or whatever, just blowing fucking smoke in the bathtub and then eating everything and pouring the water on. Yeah, no, Danny McBride's great. I think that he's somebody that I like. Going off what you're saying, he's somebody that I think that he's not going to make a mockery.
No, he'll respect it. I mean,
yeah, out of something like Halloween. And again, I think it helps.
Did it say Carpenter was producing this one too?
Yes.
No? Okay, so then it'll be fine.
And I think that it's one of those things that it's not a remake, like
which makes me more excited. Really,
yeah, it's not like the Rob Zombie thing. So Danny McBride is having to work off of what he's got.
Yeah,
like it's like, hey, this is what you're doing. Work off that. I think that he's gonna be respectable enough with it. I'm really excited.
And I had no clue it was coming. And then I've sent in the group chat that picture, already a picture of the guys, and it's like, holy shit!
Yeah, already a picture of Jamie Lee Curtis outside of the house, just being like, yeah,
and Michael Myers there too. It's like,
it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, this is like, way further along than we thought it would be for this.
Principal photography's already over.
It's like coming out this Halloween.
Oh man, that'd be fucking great.
What if it came out on Friday the 13th of October?
A straight
that'd be awesome.
Cloverfield release, or the newest one. What was it?
Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, Cloverfield Lane one, where it was like a month before it came out. They just released a trailer like, oh hey, by the way, we're making this movie. Oh no, I'm sorry, we made this movie. John Goodman's in it, and so is Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah, those are two pretty like John Goodman's a monster name to attach to a project at this point in his life.
That's mean to say about him, dude.
He's done good for himself.
I didn't. God damn it.
But no, even Mary Elizabeth
St.
Winstead.
Louis's own John Goodman.
Yeah, even Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Like, I mean, she's not a huge name, but she's a name people know.
Yeah, she's definitely a recognizable face.
Yeah,
the name is still growing. But
so both of them being in a movie that's just like, hey,
has she done anything recently? I feel like
Cloverfield Lane.
I mean, Cloverfield Lane's been.
I don't know.
It was last year.
Yeah.
Or
it's been a couple years ago now.
I don't know.
Hey. Whenever you're listening to this podcast, Cloverfield Lane came out years ago. We don't want to date it. So Steve, so the Halloween remake.
I don't even know
remake,
what to call it.
continuation,
the next Halloween.
Because I think reports / rumors are that they're retconning Resurrection.
Yeah. I can't say for certain, but I even remember reading something that said it might even just be after 2.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
If that's the case, then fuck, that's a lot of plot, and
which really a lot of the other shit doesn't matter anyway, because Laurie Strode's only in like
1, 2,
and then H2O and Resurrection.
Yeah.
So
that man, because there's like that weird ritual shit with
they even forgot that shit by the end of the next movie.
Yeah, but there was, I mean, with the Paul Rudd ones, there were that 3 movie arc or 2 movie arc where it was like that weird.
How many of these movies? I know there's a lot, but how many are there?
Probably 11 or so.
Damn.
Oh wait, hold on.
9 maybe. I don't know.
I would say maybe 8 or 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
For just the original plot thread.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, no. There's so the first 2. That's what makes the first 2 so cool is they are literally the second one begins exactly where the first one left, and I think they filmed them back to back or something like that.
I don't know.
Either way, it literally the first one, the ending of the first one is the beginning of the second one.
All I know about Halloween really is
and then the third one is nothing.
No. I've heard about how the third one is just kind of like this weird thing that doesn't feel attached to the thing. All I know about Halloween though is that it was shot in summer, so they had to
awesome.
So they had to rake up all of the leaves at the end of every day of production to put them back out.
See, the third one is a great idea, but the problem was that they had the second one. Like if they would have done,
I think we've even talked about that before on here.
Probably, yeah. It's like it's an interesting idea, but then like they went back in on the Michael Myers thing for like 4, 5, and 6, and it's this weird like satanic ritual thing. Anyway, we're talking about this probably way too much than we should. Steve, what is something you actually like?
So my friends just got me to play this game the other day, and I might end up buying it because it's a really cool game. It's called
Checkers.
Divinity 2: Original Sin.
Yeah, yep. I think it's actually on like sale on Steam or something.
Ooh, it's on sale.
My coworker just bought it. I mean, it's not a new game.
Yeah, no. Divinity 2 just came out like a week ago. The first Divinity was out for a while.
Oh, maybe there's just been so many Divinity games in between because there's like at least 3 or 4. Like I think one's a prequel.
Oh, I don't know.
There's more than one just Divinity original. Anyway,
either way, this new one just came out. It's really cool. It's one of those games where it's kind of like an over the top RPG, kind of like old Baldur's Gate type things. But it's instead turn-based, so it kind of really goes off of like the D&D type engine, where you can kind of do whatever you want as long as you have the points for it. So like the more focused your character is, the stronger it's going to become, and the further along you get in things.
Okay.
But you can do things like mix magics, like cast rain in an area to like make it wet, and then freeze the area, and it does more damage.
Gotcha.
Or like electrocute the water.
Two questions.
Like
one, it's isometric, right? Right.
It's isometric, but then you can go into like tactics mode where it goes to top down, so you can like see the battle a little bit better because it is turn based.
The second question was, you said you can cast rain and make it wet. Is that the only way you can make things wet, Steve? Steve personally.
Steve personally, literally the only way.
I don't know. You can smolder pretty well.
I just had a little like imagination of Steve like hooking up with a girl and being like, I cast rain.
Did you ever read those things from back in the day?
The Steve Chronicles?
No. There was a thing called the Blood Ninja Cybers, where the guy would like, where it was like, you might recognize it once I say it, but like there'd be like two people doing like online sexy stuff, like with the old type out, and she'd be like, all right, I'm gonna take off my top, and he's like, I'm going to put on my wizard cap, and he's like, I cast like level 5 seduction on you, and she'd be like, yeah, okay, and so like he kept doing it.
Okay, dot.
and so like
I already came,
and so like it's this big long thing,
or
and
just
then
logged off,
and then like later on she's like, I don't want to talk to you, and then like the next thing. And then, like, he comes back into the room under, like, a different name and finds the same girl and does it again. And he was like, oh, crap, it's you again.
And it's, like, brackets, color wavy, and brackets, GF, looking for paid sex.
Yeah.
This is a RuneScape joke.
Okay.
Everybody got it.
No, but it was just like a series of things where this guy would like joke about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Tyler, what do you actually like?
Well, hold on.
Thanks.
Well, okay.
You're not done.
Yeah,
no.
Tyler, what do you actually like?
No, Steve, finish your thought.
No, it's unrelated to what I actually like, but I will bring it up after you finish yours.
Okay.
Then everybody's gonna get confused.
I'm going to. This was an unplanned thing. I'm gonna have a little one, and then they're both gonna be little ones. I'm a regular.
You got two so many times in a row now.
I'm a regular Garrett Welker from Three Wise.
He has so many things that pique his interest.
One, I will say. So I went to, as I said earlier, I went to a concert this weekend. A band that I have. I mentioned Manchester Orchestra. I mentioned them on the cast before, so you know.
You've always told me it was NoFX.
Well, I mean that's one of the bands that they're tied for first.
I do like NoFX.
You know, you gotta suck it. You know, it's the fucking. But, I went to. This is probably the 4th or 5th time I saw them live.
Hold on, let me clarify something real quick. I don't even know that I could name one NoFX song. It's just a good band for me to go to my go-to joke.
I couldn't either. I just know they do that suck it like the cross X while they do the. That's the only thing I know about NoFX. Steve, you're looking at us like you're right, but I'm sad that you're right.
I don't know that I could name any song titles, but I know
they gotta have some hits. I mean, I know
a lot of songs.
I think I mean,
well, they're really famous for doing a lot of like
suck it.
No,
motions.
they did a lot of their own production for
yeah.
albums. Like they were real. Like we're gonna make our own music.
Now that they ripped off Macklemore.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, wasn't the Suck It thing more of like the NWA in wrestling, or what were they called? They were called the Generation X. Yeah, Generation X. That's what.
That's
it was.
why I was looking at you.
Well, no. Also,
I don't know if NoFX did that. I don't know.
I think they did because that's how I knew about it because I didn't know about anyway. It doesn't matter. Why are we talking about? This?
I don't know.
Manchester Orchestra. I saw them live this weekend for the 4th or 5th time, and something that I like is seeing a band grow. Like I've seen this band grow. It's legitimately cool. Like obviously, you know, with a bigger crowd comes stuff. You know, some people that you're like, okay, fuck this guy, whatever, but. At the end of the day, like because I was pretty close to the front, turning around and just seeing how big, like how many people were there.
You understand?
It was really cool. It was being like because I mean from that there was one point where I saw them at a venue, a local venue in St. Louis where we're from, where me and a buddy sat in chairs like close, and it's a venue, the pageant people that. You know, are from St. Louis. I mean, we sat in a chair at a table, like pretty close, and weren't disturbed by anybody. And it was from that to this Kansas City venue where it was, I mean, just probably
huge amounts of people.
Sorry, Disturbed made me chuckle.
I mean, there was like, you know, a disturbance because somebody was like, "Oh, and
that's pretty good."
And
for your throat being sore.
That's what helps.
It unlocked the ability.
And I mean, I would probably wager over 1,000 people for this, which may not be huge for a lot of bands, but just seeing it grow from there to there, it's like, man, this is pretty awesome. Like, yeah, because I really like this band. I'm glad that they're getting traction like this.
Right.
Other than that, both of you know because you came in earlier today to my house. I went in on a Switch, and I know I'm early stages because it's been.
You're like, yo, the Switch fucking sucks. It's a piece of shit console. You fucking went in on it, dude.
It's probably been like 6 hours since I bought it. But
you're in the honeymoon phase of Switch.
I'll check in for all the viewers later on. But as of now, I'm fucking loving it. It's awesome. Like I told Steve, I was playing Zelda. And I had to go take a dump. And I was like, oh, man, I got to pause it. And I was like, wait, no, I don't. And I just took the Switch with me, went to the bathroom.
Which was weird because it does have the portable screen, but you decided to undo your TV and bring that into the bathroom.
No, the thing is you don't undo your TV. The portable screen goes into a dock, and the dock is connected to the TV. So I just put the little Joy-Con things into the screen.
You're ruining my joke of you taking the entire...
Because I'm proving to you that the Switch is that good.
The real joke is that, Steve, you played with one of those controller parts.
Yeah, but that was only after I shoved it up my butt. But
yeah.
I mean, so one way or another, it was going to be covered
poop particles with other poop particles.
Well, no,
I
made sure he knew that I set it up before I like wiped and washed my hands before I picked it back up because I was like, I feel like telling the story. You're thinking I have this in my hand, and I was like, no, don't worry.
Steve's look on his face is priceless.
But no. Then Steve and landlord Kevin, we played Mario Kart and we used one Joy-Con each, and it was. I mean, they're small, but.
It doesn't feel terrible for Mario Kart at least.
And I know that the second time with Steve I played it, there's a option where like you don't have to hold down the acceleration button. Okay. Like it just goes. And that was actually pretty awesome, given the size of the controller and like you know how those buttons, the smaller buttons, like holding it down, your thumb gets kind of
friggin' raw at some point.
Yeah, so like not holding that down after, like I mean, I completely forgot about it after the Go because you can still get the boost from the Go, but then after that you're just like, okay, yeah, I just focus on drifting and.
So does it like auto? Like you don't have to press down A at all? Like do you have to start it up? It just goes. It just auto goes.
It just goes. I don't know because I still tried to get the boost. So enough. You may have. To, I don't know. But anyway, the Switch is fucking awesome so far, and I'm glad I bought it. I mean, if you already have a 3DS, which I have, still get it because it's a fucking console on the go. 3DS is a handheld, which I feel like is a lot different. I feel like you guys both could kind of agree to that. Whereas this is literally imagine if you could just take your Xbox with you to work and play on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Like that's dope. Yeah. And that's like what this is. Mm-hmm. So it's cool. Like
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So far,
is the game a memory card or what? Like
it's a SD. It's like a cartridge.
Okay.
And they actually they put like a bittering agent on the backside of the cartridge. So it's like if you lick it, it's like really bitter.
Why?
I think for children.
Okay.
Because it's like it's small enough that like if a little kid got it, they'd like want to put it in their mouth. But then if you put it in your mouth, it has the bittering thing. So if you're a kid, you're like,
We put the same thing in one of our floor cleaners.
But then it became a meme like when it came out where everybody was like, oh hey, if you lick the cartridge, it's bitter. And so of course I did that. Like
and how bitter was it?
It's not as bitter as I was expecting. Like, it was bitter that I know, like, I took a lick of it, and I was like, oh, yep, that is bitter. But,
just enough for kids to be like, and not eat it.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought, like, I was also kind of afraid that this is
you would like it and learn and have to spend all of your money on Switch games to consume.
I'm hooked. Guys, no.
I'll take the used ones. I don't give a fuck. I just need my fix.
I had this.
My God, a kid ate this one.
I had this really weird fear of, like, it would be similar to like licking a battery, and I would get some type of like shock. And so when I did it, I was like, I knew it was stupid. I was like, I'm looking at the like little lines of the man. I'm like, man, for some reason I feel like I'm gonna. So I like kind of tapped it with my tongue, and
pull it away
just tapped it, and I was like, oh, that is, and then I gave a little bit more, and was like, oh, yep. That's bitter, but it wasn't like, oh God, but it was like, oh yeah, they clearly put something on this. So yeah, you guys can lick it afterwards, and then you can lick the cartridge if you want.
Not interested.
Other than that,
both of which have been in the bathroom with Tyler.
I do want to say one thing, and this works kind of good for the things we actually like. I actually watched a thing that both of you have, or that each of you have liked. I finished the newest season of BoJack Horseman for Tyler, and
let's fucking talk about it. It was
fantastic, and I loved it. And then today, after I finished BoJack Horseman, Charlie, I watched American Vandal.
Nice. That's what this upcoming weekend is going to be for me.
I've watched both of them.
You watched American Vandal too?
I finished American Vandal. Yeah, I went all in.
Can we not talk about it on?
No, that's fine. I will say that I really enjoyed both of them. I thought American Vandal was really well done, and I had a good time watching it.
Oh, did you finish American Vandal?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing this weekend.
Nice.
Partially.
Other than that, I mean, so I'm seeing the Halloween remake.
Yes.
And I'm seeing the Friday the 13th remake.
Yes.
And, I guess shouts-outs to Steve. You're good at this.
Oh, so let's see. We got Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad, our video cast friends who do a lot of videos.
I'd say they're like our very attractive aunt.
Okay, our curiously attractive aunt who birthed our sexy cousin podcast, Three Wise.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. But also, of course, there's Critical Misadventure, who I believe is at least part of it. I don't know if he hosts, but is part of it is Landlord Kevin's brother.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then of course, Beyond the Blast Door, our friends with the Star Wars cast who they kind of do, as far as I know, they do everything Star Wars. They hit all the media that Star Wars has to offer. So if you want to know anything about Star Wars, be it movie, book, comic, anything,
games,
I don't know how. Yeah, I was gonna say
just news updates.
I haven't listened enough to know if they hit the card games, which I know is a little bit more of a niche point and doesn't really add any storyline, so I can understand them not really caring about that. But they do deal with all plot things Star Wars related. And I believe that's it for the prequel episode.
Yeah, thanks to Scott Blackwell for the image.
Right. I wasn't sure if we were gonna bring that up because of But yes, thank you, Scott.
Other than that, I mean, we don't have anything specifically going on right now, like Charlie. Nothing.
Not that I know of.
Steve,
nothing that I'm aware of.
All right. Well, then, other than that, bye.
Movie Versus is a production of 3 Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.